Howdy, everyone. Welcome to Tilson Live. It's Tuesday. It's 2 o'clock. It is Tilson Tuesday. We're coming to you live on Facebook, live on YouTube, talking all things build on your land. I'm Eric Allard, part of the fourth generation of the Tilson family, joined as I am each and every week by Dawn Dansler. Hi, Dawn.
Hey, Eric. How's it going?
It's going good. Going good. I'm not sure. Maybe some glitching issues. Not sure, but
Oh, no.
I think the heat might actually be getting to the computer equipment finally. It's penetrated the exterior walls, and it is now attacking even the air-conditioned space. But no, all's good. Again, folks, we are live on Facebook, live on YouTube, as we are each and every Tuesday at 2 o'clock here at Tilson Homes. And we want you to jump in and join us. Jump into the chat. Tell us, where are you watching from? Where are you building? What are you building? And what part of the process are you in? Are you just thinking about getting started? Did you just hear about maybe this idea of building a home in a unrestricted area somewhere? Or maybe you've got a lot that you got from someone, maybe you hear it from family, maybe it's on the lake, maybe it's in the city. So we want to hear from you. We want to hear where you're building, what part of the process that you are in, what you're doing, and what brings you here. Again, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Dawn, though, is going to tell us about a very special home we'll be talking about today. A little bit on the custom side.
Yeah. So we're going to talk today about the Straley family's custom canyon. So they actually got inspiration. They pulled up a home that they liked the looks of, found it on Pinterest actually, and we're like, can you do this? We like the floor plan of the canyon, but we want it to look like this, and what can you do? So very excited to show that to everybody. It's one of our most popular plans, and it's a little different look to it, and a very, very different approach to the farmhouse than what we're used to. So super excited to show that off.
Yes, and not to spoil it too bad, but you might get to see a farmhouse home that doesn't have white paint. It might happen. There might
Shocking.
be a thing. It is. But so yeah, again, jump in the chat. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us where you're building, what part of the process you are in. We want to hear from you. Also, any questions you have. We are here to talk about, obviously, this beautiful home that this family has shared with us, but we can answer all of your questions about building a home on your land, about financing, about site preparation. How do I get a driveway there? How do I get an address from the county? How do I get a septic design and permit? How do I get water to the site? How do I get the site cleared? How do I get someone to come and look at the site? So all of those questions, what goes into engineering, what goes into energy savings, what kind of things that we do to make sure that we're building the right sized air conditioner for your home. We can talk about any of those things you guys want to talk about, answer all of those questions. We know that there are always questions about like, what about this? Or I don't know about that. That's why we're here. That's why Dawn and I do this. That's why we have a great support staff that's monitoring the chat for us and takes these beautiful pictures and does these beautiful testimonials so that we can help you guys solve all your problems. And anyway, so jump in the chat. Tell us where you're watching from, where you're building, what part of the process you're in. Dawn, we got some folks joining us. Let's say howdy to them.
We do. We've got a friend from YouTube joining us from Cibolo. We'll be building our Tilson home at Richland Chambers Reservoir. Awesome. Very pretty.
Nice. Very popular area.
Very pretty place. Yeah. We've got Will from Klondike. Hope everyone has a blessed week. Been busy keeping everything in water and shade. Y'all in good hands with Tilson, and this home looks beautiful. Oh, thank you, Will.
Oh, thanks, Will. Man, good luck out there. It's a scorcher.
Yes, absolutely. We got Runner Dude. I'm in California looking to move back to Texas where I'm from. Awesome.
Come on. We'd love to have you back.
All right. We got Stephanie from Wisconsin looking to build in Ellis County. Still looking at floor plans.
Very cool. Yeah, Ellis County is a growing area, kind of the southern tip of the spear of the DFW Metroplex, and it's being built quite a bit these days. So yeah, it's a great spot to be. Promise you will. I shouldn't say never. The likelihood of you having to shovel snow in any remote fraction of the way you've had to do in Wisconsin is pretty doggone low. That's not likely to happen. So. And by the way, if it does snow there, they're going to shut the streets down anyway. You have to worry about shoveling snow. It's not your responsibility.
Everything's closed. Everything's closed. You will be amazed. Everything's closed. We talk about snow. Everything's closed.
Yeah, we will absolutely
just how it works.
Shut it down. So, but folks, again, continue to jump into the chat. Where you watching from? Where you building? Part of the process that you're in. You have any questions at all about not only the plan we're going to go through, design changes, different things like that, customization. We'd be very glad to talk. All things building on your land, permitting, site preparation, financing, culverts, driveways, windows, energy, all the kind of stuff that goes in, why we do the things we do from a building perspective. Okay, we're worried about like the other stuff that we do. We don't know why. We don't know why. I hear it's rooted in your childhood, though. That is something I've heard.
Let's not go there.
Where's your sense of adventure, Dawn?
We got Will, Sharon. It was funny. 90s was a cold front for 3 days early last week, then 106 to 110 after that. Yes,
Dude, I'm glad you got the night. We have not seen the 90s in the day in a while down here, Ryan. It was overcast yesterday. It's like the little storm that moved into the Rio Grande Valley. We got like the cloud coverage from it, which was a welcome reprieve.
Yes. Angleton actually got rain today. I don't know how much they got, but they got a little bit of rain today.
Man, my wife and I spoke yesterday that if it starts raining, we will stop on the side of the road and just get out and stand in it, like Shawshank Redemption style. That's happening. Like and I don't think we'll be alone, quite frankly. I think ordinarily it would look ridiculous. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think everybody's just kind of like going to go outside and just stare at it.
Right. Yeah. Just what
enjoy.
Is this? Be like, Noah, what's going on here?
We've got Runner Dude asking, what's a good floor plan to start with if you want a window over the sink and windows in all bathrooms in the utility room, about 1,800 square feet?
Man, okay. So I'm thinking, what's the one that we are toying with down in Angleton? Is it the
Arlington?
Yeah, the Arlington's a good place to start, Runner Dude. We probably have to put some windows in the bathrooms, and but for sure it starts out with and my wife, same thing. She wants a window over the kitchen sink. That's a big deal to her. So it's not a lot of there's not a lot of designs like that these days anywhere. And so most people want the family room and kitchen and room and breakfast room looking out, right? So that kind of relegates the kitchen to be in the middle of the house. But yeah, the Arlington is one that definitely you can start with that, and which is not very many modifications. We can make that happen.
Yep. Looking at it now. Yeah, we need to add a couple windows and maybe move a bathroom because that secondary bathroom is in the middle of the home, but that would be a good spot to start.
Right. There's always skylights. There's always.
We got Jean of a Facebook building in Kingsland, Texas, looking at floor plans and ideas. Awesome. You're in the right place.
Spot. The last frontier of Lake LBJ.
And Will agrees if it starts raining here, I'll be outside in it the entire time.
For sure. Yep. No doubt about it. All right. Well, hey, let's jump into checking this house out. Folks, while we're doing this, obviously, get in the chat. Tell us where you're building, what part of the process you're in. Questions. Any questions you have. Runner Dude's got great questions. Any questions you guys have about the process, financing, any of that, we'd be glad to answer them. That's what we're here for. So, but Dawn, without further ado, let's see this beautiful house.
All right. Well, let's talk about the canyon.
All right.
So where we started with their house, like I said, they brought in their own custom rendering, but their own custom like exterior that they wanted to do. But we started with the Canyon D because it was the most similar to what they were looking for. And then that was sent off to our drafting team. So I'm going to talk about that. The Canyon is also a very popular model that we have in Bryan. And that one is more of the traditional farmhouse style that we were talking about with the white exterior. And all of that, but this is the Canyon D. It is a 3-bedroom plus a study, so very easily convertible into a 4-bedroom plan. 2.5 bath and a little under 2,300 square feet. It's got that open concept that Eric was talking about with the kitchen flowing straight into the family room. It's got the one dedicated dining area that most of our customers are asking for. Now, it's split bedrooms front to back. So the secondary bedrooms are on the front and the master suite is in the back, private with its own space. You've got a bathroom in between as well. So it's both bathrooms actually are in between. So everybody gets their own, private space. And just it's a great plan, which is why it's so popular.
Super versatile.
Mm-hmm.
Very popular.
So they designed their own custom elevation. So the first thing they did was reverse the floor plan, which is actually, I believe, how it's built in Bryan as well. Yeah. So most people actually end up reversing it because they're used to seeing it that way. And then they wanted to create a double gable on the front. So this was actually sent to the head of our drafting team, James, and he actually sketched something up based on their ideas to make it fit with the floor plan. So we've got the double gable on the front. We've got a shed roof over that front window, just to give them that extra extra little style to the front. And that front gable is also solid brick. And then they did a brick wainscot around most of the rest of the front of the house, except the kind that's kind of set back is all board and batten.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the eye doctor trick. I'm gonna go first. 1, 2. So notice that the gables are in the middle of the home. That was where the gable and a half gable, it was really important to be that in the more of the center of the home. And yeah, our drafting team was just hit it out of the park, get the symmetry, just really, really sharp.
Yeah, really sharp. The other thing that she did that we don't usually get requested every once in a while, so it was unique. She actually wanted a smaller front porch. So they took away a lot of the depth on that porch to give those offset gables. So yeah, but just a beautiful design.
Yeah, really cool.
Then when we get on the inside, we'll see a few of the other changes that they made. They did change that front porch considerably, so it's smaller than what you would get on the D, and they actually lowered the roof on the porch. The ceiling height on the porch actually came down as part of those changes. They've added a couple of different accent walls in the study and the master bedroom just to add a little bit of extra style to the house. They went with the alternate kitchen instead of the one that's included in the base plan, which is also what you'll see in our Canyon model. Great layout, one solid, rectangular island that is just enormous. They actually, on that wall with the range, went ahead and raised those cabinets up. So it's the same size cabinets that would come in the kitchen, but they went ahead and took them all the way to the ceiling because they're planning to put in some shelving later down the line. And with that, they also took the tile all the way to the ceiling behind their vent hood. They added some additional cabinets in the utility room just to have a little bit of extra storage. And then in their powder room, they decided they wanted some storage underneath instead of the pedestal sink, which I applaud.
I'm totally with you on that. Yep.
I absolutely agree. I think pedestal sinks look really cool until you move in. And then it's kind of like, oh, where do
I gotta have the quintessential space to be crawling underneath and working on it when I'm cleaning out that P-trap. You gotta have, it's important that you fit into the little box area. It's critical. It's a rite of passage for home ownership. It's just the way it ought to be. Anyway, we all have our reasons.
And then they also added another exterior door onto the back of the home just to get easier access to that powder room from the backyard without having to go through any other rooms. On the back there, they did the extended rear porch with the cathedral ceiling and also put that cathedral ceiling in the family room. So it's a one continuous cathedral ceiling from the inside to the outside that just creates that beautiful effect. On their cedar posts, they went ahead and added a brick base instead of just having the post itself. They've got brick bases on them. And then, a couple other changes in the master bathroom. They've taken this tile all the way to the ceiling, and then they added a wood-burning fireplace on the inside. So.
Very cool. I want to come over here for just a second, folks, and talk about this because you'll see the door is swinging out. Why in the world would we have a door swinging out like that? Well, I will tell you. You'll see it on some of your plans when we're doing these things too. First of all, there's a lot of doors swinging around in here, so that's one. Is it does cut down on the doors slinging into each other, and that magical meat grinder that would be. The other thing that it does is it is a better for weatherproofing. So because if wind-driven rain is happening, what's happening is that the door will be being pushed against the weather stripping. As opposed to the other way around, it's the weather stripping is the doors being pushed away from the weather stripping. Not a big deal if you have a porch because this is covered, right? So all of the rain is not likely to drive all the way in here. But this is a exterior door with no covering over it whatsoever. And our recommendation is to keep wind-driven rain and stuff from being able to blow in. You have it swinging out. It makes a much tighter, better seal than having it swing in. So the question we get not infrequently. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Let's check it out. Let's see this house.
Right. Let's check it out.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Tilson Home Tours. I'm Kelsey.
I'm Delaney.
I'm Mariah.
And we are here to talk about Delaney's amazing canyon home here in McLennan County. So for starters, you pull up, it's not your typical white farmhouse.
No.
In fact, it's the exact opposite of that. So tell me about your inspiration.
I took to Pinterest. There are people with
Natural
amazing,
first step.
people with amazing ideas out there. And I saw a black house, and I decided that was the move I wanted to make.
Yeah.
My husband, of course, gave me full design control. He got the shop. I got the house. And so we went black. I loved the board and batten. I love the white homes, but I just felt the need to do something different.
Change things up a bit.
Yeah, and against the green, I just thought it was gonna look so pretty with the brick accents. And then I just had my Pinterest picture that I wanted because I couldn't find the outside of the canyon that I was looking for. And I showed it to Mariah. I was like, can we make this happen? And so she kind of took it from there and got the look I was looking for.
Yeah, so on that exterior, you have the full wall of brick.
Yes.
How did you take what she was wanting and turn it into what she got?
So I started with the elevation D of the canyon and kind of drew up some changes and got with the head of drafting, and then he was able to kind of help me give her the design that she was looking for.
Create that.
So
I didn't want a front porch, which is very different than what a lot of people want on that farmhouse look, is the rocking chair front porch. But I knew that the sun set in the front of the house, and I was like, I was not gonna stare in there. So we went away with the porch and just made it all perfect.
Yeah, and you still have a really welcoming entrance. I mean, you come in through that very gorgeous front door, and the first thing that you see are these massive windows.
That's what we wanted. We just wanted to see out the back and spend our time out there.
Yeah, and you don't have to stare into the sun.
No,
It's the best of both
it's
worlds.
awesome.
All
Boy,
right.
designing ahead of her time. If she only knew how hot it was going to be this summer.
I know, right?
Genius. Pure genius. I see we also got the star of the show. I'm not sure if his name is mentioned later, but some kind of little terrier mix is hanging around in pretty well every shot. So as it should be. But
Yeah,
just
super
really,
cute.
really pretty.
They're super cute.
Yeah,
I love the way this house turned out, and the night I love the black. I think technically it's a dark gray, but close enough to black that I would call it black. But just looks great, and against that lighter brick color, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And I love how they went with a more natural looking stain on the cedar, so the lighter color, and it's just absolutely beautiful.
Well, yeah, it's kind of your only, it's how design impacts other design, right? Like most ones we see are white homes that have very dark contrasting accents. Well, if you painted this cedar dark or black or stained it, a Jacobean kind of stain, like you're not going to see it. So you had to.
You wouldn't even see it. Yeah.
So, I mean, just beautiful, and that's what the wood really looks like. Much closer to it. It's a natural look. So anyway, obviously point out that the gutters have the downspouts and going away from the home, which is really important. Notice they're not trapping any of that moisture against in those flower beds. All A plus all the way around.
And then this is the rear exterior. We'll see that you can see that extra door that they added in there. And I found it really interesting and really like that they painted the exterior doors the same color as the siding. It's a very clean, very clean look.
Sure is. Yeah, and there's and you think about it, what's the reason to draw attention to this door, right? Like it's on the back of the house, so and then B, it helps it kind of blend in better with the home. So I think it looks great, and you can see all the exterior trim, just really pretty the way it turned out.
Yeah, they did a great job doing all their color selections.
Wow.
There's that rear back porch that's just so gorgeous. Just love that space. It's a huge area for them to just hang out with, and you've got the tall cathedral ceiling and the truss, and just so popular and so beautiful. And again, you've got your gutters going far away from the home. So.
Yep, taking that moisture away from the house. So the other thing is think about, obviously, like she said, the sun. This home faces to the west, and so this thing is in the shade pretty well all day, except for the first maybe hour of daylight. From like 6:45 a.m. to maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then the rest of the day it's in the shade, which right now is priceless.
Yes, she can actually use that space.
And can we get some votes for world's smartest husband? Gave her what did she call it? All design, whatever. I don't.
She got the house, he got the
Omnipotent
shop. She got to
design.
make all the decisions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because right here, this is why. And don't let it be lost
Yep.
on you folks. The little bitty AC unit sitting right here, soaking up a little AC in the shop. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
Very smart. Very smart.
So yeah, and folks, obviously keep asking questions, making comments into the chat. We're gonna check those here in just a second. See what kind of questions folks have.
All right, let's pull those up. All right, we have Kirsten, who is joining us, have land in East Texas, looking to build. Land is paid for.
And probably no down payment for you, Kirsten. And actually, tell us where you are in East Texas. I love that's my old stomping ground. So tell me where you're hailing from.
All right, we got Donna in Ennis and building a Canyon 2, doing spray foam tomorrow.
very nice.
Awesome.
All right.
Very exciting. Runner Dude has a question for those of us not living in Texas now. What's a typical electric bill on a Tilson home in the summer if you leave it at 78, about 1,800 square feet, single story?
Pretty dang low. So it's gonna be hard to say because Texas is deregulated. And I know coming from California, that's like a 4-letter word, but it's in other words, the state doesn't dictate necessarily who you must use for power, with the exception of co-ops or cooperatives, which is what most of our customers are on. But those co-ops get to set their own rate. Now there is the Public Utility Commission of Texas that does they can't gouge you, but they're very fair. I'd rather leave it up to the folks in the comments if you have a Tilson home about that size. Will, I know you've got one if you're still listening and watching about what the average electric bill is. He probably keeps it lower than that during the day because I know his wife works from home. But I can tell you that it's going to be, it's also going to depend if you're all electric or if you have gas appliances of any kind. But I've seen people as low as $50 to $60 a month. I haven't seen very many over 130 to 180. That's where even with what we're having right now. But I would much rather leave it up to the chat because again, that rate per kilowatt hour is going to vary pretty significantly across the state depending on when your contract got locked in and depending on if you're on a co-op or if you have gotten to choose your provider. So in a place like the greater Dallas-Fort Worth area or greater Houston area, typically like an Encore owns the lines, and CenterPoint in Houston area owns the lines, the power lines, like they're responsible for the physical infrastructure. But once you have that work done, house hooked up, you can, if you have one of those, Encore or CenterPoint or one of those, you can pick whoever you want to provide that you buy your power from. So there's actually a whole website called power.org. And you can sort it by rates, and you can pick your own rate. They got different terms, of course, and you want to stay on top of that because guess what the rate does if you don't, renew. But it's going to vary quite a bit. But I'd much rather leave it up to folks in the chat. Ask folks what it is.
Okay. All right. Well, while they're posting that, let's take a look at this kitchen.
Let's check it out. Guys, keep asking your questions.
And then in here you have this statement kitchen. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in here. All right, so in here you've got tons of cabinet space, and this is all standard with the alternate kitchen that you selected.
It is, yeah. Just with the alternate kitchen, it opened everything up. You got this huge island, which I really wanted.
It is quite humongous.
It's humongous, and I just wanted that everybody together at one time feeling.
Yeah.
And so this allowed that to happen. Plenty of cabinet space. I knew that I wanted my kitchen to be a huge statement. So again, going with the black and the white, and I wanted this wall to have the cabinets all the way to the ceiling because we plan on doing some floating shelves underneath here to also tie in the wood accents.
Yeah, so these are the same size cabinets. Normally you just move them up.
Yep, it was a little bit nerve-wracking at first because they are pretty tall. You get really tall ceilings here, but it just looks incredible.
Yeah, and everything that you need you can always store below because you've got tons of room.
Plenty
and then
of storage.
The stuff that you don't use as often, you can just
It's amazing.
move on up there.
It's awesome.
And then with this tile, I really like that it's that wavy look.
Yeah.
Because it's subway tile, which is pretty common, but you definitely shook it up a bit.
Kind of still with that, I wanted to do what is everybody doing, but not. So
But different.
I wanted subway, but I didn't want the subway tile that everyone did. I liked the texture. I liked that it was longer.
I like the darker grout too.
Yeah.
I think it really makes it pop.
I think it does too. I really didn't remember what I had chosen.
Most people don't.
But when
the
I
grout
saw
is
it-
always just like back of the mind.
When I saw it, I said it's perfect. It goes just with the contrast, the black and the white, everything.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And then
Perfect.
you've got pantry in here.
Pantry, walk-in pantry, huge.
Love that.
Love it.
Tons of storage.
Tons.
And then let's go and check out your little dining area. Okay, I love the trim that you have in here too.
Yes.
It's nice and tall. It really makes the ceiling seem even higher.
Yeah, that was again Mariah. She really helped with my Pinterest pictures, so she kind of helped pick out what I needed to have.
Yeah, and there's not a ton going on. It's just like the little dining room. You've got these massive, huge windows looking out over your
It
gorgeous
makes it
property.
seem like you're eating outside, which is just what you want when you buy land and you just want to immerse yourself in that nature. You know, it could fit a bigger table, but we've got a little one right now, so a high chair took priority, but this is a perfect size for us, and I just love it.
Yeah, don't need anything too fancy going
Nothing.
on. And I love the access to the back porch right through here.
Right there, the window, it's beautiful.
All right, well, let's check out your living room.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, really like the way she said that. Like, it's why you buy this land. You want it, like, being in the space. Like, she feels like that room is jettisoning out like that. It puts her in the outdoors, which I've never heard anyone put it quite like that. And that's perfectly said. Perfectly said.
But then you still have the air conditioning.
Oh, very important. Yes, very important. The best of both worlds. The best of both worlds.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, beautiful kitchen. I love the choices that they made in here. Just, you know, keep continuing that black and white theme from the outside and bringing that inside. Also love, you know, the huge island that you've got in there. And there's actually storage cabinets that you see. They're actually on both ends there where you have extra room for all of your stuff. So there's so much storage in this space. It's just beautiful. Just love it.
Yeah, and the tile being this long really helps make it not look like there's a whole lot of, you know, space going. Drawing that out horizontally instead of going vertical with it, I think it's. I had never. If you had not told me that those are our regular cabinets just put to the ceiling, I probably wouldn't have known that. It's obvious now. You know, they'd ordinarily be about a foot lower, but it's interesting. Maybe 16 inches or so lower. But I'd never seen that done. But it turned out really sharp. Man, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And then there's that dining area that, you know, like she said, you've got so much light coming in, you feel like you're outside, and again, plenty of space there. You know, the high chair takes up a lot of room, but when we're out of that, I think in our model, we have a table that seats 6, but you could easily go to 8. No factor. It's a nice large space.
And let's face it, I mean, the world probably currently revolves around whoever sits in his right now anyway. So
Oh yes.
this is the way it ought to be.
I've always said, you know, in a household, the shortest person is usually the one in charge.
For sure.
Just to be completely honest, that's who runs the
That's who
household.
runs the show. That's exactly right. Wanted to point out, so this is that back exterior door. You can kind of see what I was talking about because of the paint colors they chose, thankfully. So the black lines you're seeing here, that is the weather stripping. So it's, again, if they were to get, not likely to happen out of the east because that's not usually where storms come from, but at least not in Lorena, Texas, but if wind were pushing on this, you can see what I was talking about, that it would be pushing the door further into the weather stripping and further against the threshold down here. So it does a much better job from an energy efficiency standpoint, especially if you're having some kind of a wind-driven rain event or wind event, that
Right.
far more efficient and better at sealing the house up. Same thing here. You know, this one you can tell swings out. This is a totally different reason because it swings out onto a porch. But again, this is to keep it from swinging into this dining space.
Right.
It would be tight. It wouldn't happen with, you know, the little guy sitting here. It certainly wouldn't happen if you had a larger table. So a little bit of that design stuff that we think about, that when you start making changes to the plans, it's just something to consider. That we've done some of these alterations with some method to our madness, shall we say?
Yeah. No, thank you for explaining that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help.
Because we do get asked about that a lot, and that makes a lot of sense.
All right.
All right. Well, let's take a look at the family room.
Check it out.
I love how the first thing you see when you come in your house are these statement windows. I mean, they're huge. It's a gorgeous view.
It's definitely, I can't remember which model we walked in. I mean, I know it's a huge thing that people are doing. But
Yeah.
It just struck me when I saw it in the model. And so I was like, I have to have that.
Yes.
Just the windows from front to back, and it just makes it grand.
Yeah, and your entryway, it's plenty spacious. It's just what you need. And then I love that you've got this study off of here that we'll check out later. But you come in and the very first thing you see is just this open space.
Yes.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I loved the wood accents, again, just trying to keep those natural elements, the light stain, the light floors. It just came together beautifully. And then pulling in, the brick fireplace, it's awesome.
Yeah, I love the fireplace that you've got here. I like that the brick goes all the way to the ceiling.
It was something that was funny because I remember texting you, like worried about the height of the ceilings. I really wanted it to be very tall. And at first, she had told me they were much shorter than what I was expecting. And then one night, I think it was almost like 9, she's like, I just remember I saw that they're like 16 feet. I was like, that's incredible.
Perfect.
So it turned out amazing. The bricks way high. Again, we didn't want to have the high, what is that called?
The hearth.
The hearth, because having little ones in mind, I was just so nervous about them hitting their
Bonking.
head.
Yeah, we don't want that.
So we did the low profile one, and I think it looks so good.
Yeah, and I love the mantle that you have, and even the little black things underneath. They really make it seem a little elevated.
Yeah, that was something my husband actually said he wanted, was the brackets on the outside. So I was like, okay, and it looks great.
All right.
Very cool. Yeah. We do get a lot of the feedback, not wanting the raised hearth with little ones running around, and inevitably it'll be the adult that ends up, tripping on it and skinning their shins or something like that. It's like we blame the kids for being funky, but truly it's us. It is. It's us. But our heart's in the right place.
Yes.
Yeah, but the windows are just absolutely killer. Absolutely killer. The view of the home.
Yeah. Just
See all the
it's just absolutely beautiful. And I love the fireplace going all the way to the ceiling, and just, absolutely gorgeous. And I love how well the floors go with that mantle, and the metal brackets on that mantle. I like that. We don't usually see that.
No,
so.
not at all. That's a very nice touch, particularly given, you get the metal on the actual firebox itself. Like, it makes sense.
Right.
Turned out great. The things we learn from our customers,
absolutely.
they teach us.
I know. I just love to see everybody's ideas and what they do.
Absolutely.
Let's see. We do have a question from Joseph that I know is more complicated than he was going to hope. So let's go ahead. Hello, installing a meter on our property soon. What type of meter is recommended for Tilson's construction? Temporary meter pole, meter rack?
Oh boy.
What say you, Eric?
Oh, I say, Joseph, I need to know where you are. So truly that makes a difference. I need to know where you are and kind of who the power company is. And that's probably going to end up determining it. Now, we can work off of any of those that you just listed: temporary, meter rack, any of those. We find that, and oftentimes the power company has a preference of what they want done. Maybe they don't want to make more than one trip out there. They want to come out and build, maybe they want to build the rack, or they want an electrician or someone like us to build the rack. We can do that either way. Is the meter going to be on the rack? Is the meter going to be on the home? These are some of the things we need to know. We can help you with that at the site evaluation. But if you already have them scheduled to come out there and do the thing, try to get it as close to permanent as possible, if that makes sense. Whatever they can do to get as close to permanent as possible, we can make it work. We have some power companies that want us to set a temporary meter pole first. And by the way, so don't set one yourself. You don't need to do that. We will do that. If they're going to come out and run, it sounds like they're going to come out and at least run the poles or put the pedestal in and put a meter loop of some sort. And then from there, if they're going to build the rack and put the meter on there, we can run the power to that rack from there to the house, however they want to do it. But really, we don't have a preference. whatever works best for you and the power company that doesn't cost you a whole bunch of money. We'll work with it. We can make it work.
Okay, perfect.
Great question.
All right. Well, y'all keep dropping your questions in the chat and we will answer every single one. But for now, let's go ahead and look at that master suite.
Let's check out the master suite.
Oh, it's so cute and cozy in here.
Thank you.
I love it.
It is perfect. I've said that a million times,
It is
but I can't say it enough. I mean, we are so happy.
Yeah, I love it. I love the accent wall.
Yeah.
The pictures are adorable.
Thank you. It's definitely something I wanted to go to bed looking at every single night
Yeah.
as our sweet little baby. The accent wall, had to have it. I think I love the white, clean, crisp, but I wanted something to really, you know, be the focus of the room. And so when you first walk in, you see the king size bed. It's just perfect.
Well, and the dark tone of the accent wall really makes it feel a lot more cozy than just having
does.
all white.
It does, and I think I was playing along with doing the black on the outside, like still kind of having that almost like moody feel.
Yeah.
And the green is just great. You kind of can't tell that it's green whenever the lights are off, but it's great.
Yeah, I love it. And there's so much space in here.
So much space for activities.
Yes, that's definitely one of the favorite things that we've heard about the canyon is the size of the bedrooms. That all of them are just
honestly didn't
so
even
spacious.
know. Like when you look at the plans and it says like 14 feet, I don't know what 14 feet is, but
You're like, that seems good.
I'm okay with it, and it's more space than I would know what to do with. So it's fabulous to have, you know, sleepovers and all of the fun activities we can do.
Yes, tons of room for activities.
Yeah.
And then through here we have your,
Master bath.
all right, let's check it out.
Wow, I love this floor.
Yeah, this was something, again, Pinterest spoke to me. I had to have the herringbone.
Yes, I've actually haven't seen herringbone with any of my clients, so you're like the first one that did it, and I'm absolutely in love.
I love it.
Yeah, and it was, again, specifically the 12 by 24 tiles that did it, and I was a little worried that this wasn't gonna be enough space to see the pattern, but it worked so well, and
Yeah.
I just think it's a huge statement for a master bathroom.
Excellent. I love that they kind of tie in the veininess of the marble look.
It does. It couldn't have gone together any better. My husband thought it was scratches, and I said, no.
It's design.
It's design. You wouldn't understand. But we did put in our own mirrors. I, again, like tying in that natural wood look.
Yep.
But everything else comes with it.
Yeah, and it's great that you have the his and her vanities, so you each have your own space. You've got tons of storage in here for linens.
Huge master closet. I love having, you know, the not powder room, but the
water closet.
The water closet separate. It's just wonderful.
Yeah. Well, let's go check out the other bedrooms.
Okay.
All right.
Turned out awesome. And of course, she makes a great point on I don't know what 14 feet is, you know, I mean, I imagine at some point they actually went and saw the model. So, but something to think about, you know, is even if you're not going to build the model that you're going through at one of our design centers, that's the reason they're built there, is to give you an idea of that space, right? So go into you know, we have the slicks, but have your sales consultant walk you in there and be like, okay, I know you're not building this one, but this is about the size of the spare bedroom. This is about the size of that master bedroom, and just kind of try it on, see how it feels. And that's really why they're there. You know, the odds of you actually building one of the homes that's at the design center you're working are statistically pretty low, right? But they can at least show you, obviously what we're capable of doing, and color choices and ceiling heights, and but dimensions, like what's this going to feel like? So
Yeah, it's a very good point. That actually came up a lot at the Waco grand opening. We had, you know, several people saying, hey, do you guys have a model of this plan? And though we don't, we can tell you, hey, if you're looking to get an idea of the master bedroom, look at this house. This house has, you know, this other model is the same size and the other bedrooms, so that you can kind of get a feel for what the space would be like, and actually imagine it. Eric, I have to ask, did you get the movie reference for so much room for activities?
I did not get it.
Oh.
Eric, fail on trivia.
Oh man, no, nobody else on my team got it either. So I was like, she's quoting Step Brothers.
Oh, that might be the only Will Ferrell movie I have not ever seen. I'll say it, and I don't know why, because all the rest of them I think are hilarious, but I have not seen Step Brothers.
Yeah, that's the quote when they decide that the two grown adult men decide to make their beds into bunk beds because it gives them so much room for activities.
Good times. Actually, that makes sense.
Just a great space, and I love the accent wall. It's got that color that's so dark that it looks black, but it's got that green to it as well in the daytime. So, but yeah, beautiful space. And there is the master bathroom. I love the herringbone layout of the tile. I've never seen that before, and I just think it came across absolutely beautifully. And just everything, they did such a good job picking their colors because everything just goes together so well.
Yeah, very classic, clean, but enough of little things like that, right? Like I know the herringbone's not. It seems like it's a very little detail, but it makes it so. It's such a nice touch. Such a nice touch.
Yeah, it just elevates it. Feels that much more luxurious to just have that special touch.
Yes, I'm glad our house was built already.
No backseas now.
Nope, no, not now. It is literally in stone. Awesome. But yeah, very, very well done. And you can see, of course, the shower floor they've got there, as you mentioned. I don't know if there's a picture of it or not, but there are some little design details and, typical, Neanderthal guy, right? And he's like, it's scratched up. Like, no, it's actually supposed to look like that. I'm channeling. That's exactly something I would say. Come clean this.
When every tile is scratched up like that, it was on purpose.
It's supposed to look old. Like, oh, okay. Well, there you go. Shows what we know as dudes. So anyway, yeah, really pretty. I like the extensive use of the crown molding.
A couple of comments.
Cool.
Oh yeah. Let's see. We've got Christian joining us. Lisa and Christian Sumner checking in late on a work day. Still getting through the replat process. Hopefully one more week, and then our Magnolia and Bridal Gate is on like Donkey Kong.
I like it, Christian. Yes, sir. Yeah. The replat process can be a minute. It can be an ordeal.
Yeah, it can take some time. Carolina is asking, how much additional cost is it to do the herringbone pattern for the bathroom or backsplash? And is it possible to do it for brick on the fireplace?
Ooh, okay, so I don't have the pricing on that in front of me, so we'd have to go look that up, or actually have your sales consultant look it up. I know it's different, obviously, for the floor than on the backsplash. I don't know about the brick. I know it can be done. That would definitely have to be a price request. We'd have to get with the mason and find out. But yes, I've seen it done with brick. I've seen it done exterior, interior. So I do know that it can be done. So we just want to check out what the mason, because that's going to be very location specific. The particular mason we use in that county, what would they charge to do that? So okay. I'm sorry I don't have exact pricing on that, but that's something I don't want to get wildly inaccurate on.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Christian is sharing adventures in replat. It was a 5-hour drive to Bandera to sign the replat, and then a 5-hour drive back home. Good times. Yeah, exactly. Oh yes, you must sign those magical little Mylars. You have to sign those, and then that's recorded in the matter plat records thereof in Bandera County forevermore. So congratulations, you're in the public record. Yes. All right. Well, let's take a look at the other bedrooms.
Let's check out the other bedrooms. Guys, keep dropping your questions in.
Oh, it's so cute in here.
Thank you. This is my little Eli's room. He has so much room for all his toys. I mean, we fit his crib perfectly. He's already got his bed for him to move up into. And then all of this play space.
Yeah, and that's great because then you don't have to have toys everywhere throughout the house. I mean, there's tons of room in here for him to play.
He can play in his room. The living room can stay our living room, and then this can be his playroom and his bedroom.
And you've got this nice cushy carpet.
So soft. I wish we had it when he was crawling because I would have not been so scared. But walking, crawling, he is a boy.
Yes.
True boy. And so he tumbles, and this is perfectly padded. It's so soft.
I love it. And then you've got this gorgeous view out to the front of your property. Yeah. Nice to have the sun wake him up in the mornings.
It is. I will say, that is country living. The sun is what puts you to bed, and it's what wakes you up.
That's your clock.
Yes.
I love it. And then over here you have your guest room?
Yes. here is our guest room.
Nice and cozy.
Yes, tall ceilings. I mean, fits a queen size bed and furniture, and there's still lots of room. I mean, we even have an extra crib in here. My sister has a baby, so when she comes, we like her to have a space for her baby.
That's awesome. And I mean, Eli's room is huge, but this room is still very spacious.
Yes, and for guests that, you know, you want them to feel comfortable and having a homey place where they have room to put their things. The closets are big, so they can put their stuff away. It's the best.
It's really great. I love the storage space. And I'm super excited about the back porch, so I would love to see that.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Double closets right here?
Double closets for storage, and then guest bath.
Awesome. I love the idea of having the 2 closets, because that way, you know, eventually each room could have their own extra closet out here.
Yes.
These are so organized.
Thank you. I kind of got a little bit needy on having it looking super nice.
This is very impressive.
Thank you. I did change, one of the closets had hanging rack, and I did ask that we did shelves on both, just so that way I could do this.
Yes. Tons of room for organization and storage.
Yes.
So I know it was a bit of a tease when we said we were going to go look at the porch, but I'm glad that our videographer put those closets in there, because that I know was a lot of work and it deserved to be seen.
Absolutely, and that's where the ordinarily the stairs would be, right? So I say ordinarily, if you do the bonus option, which is what the model home has, you lose those closets. That's where the staircase goes. So I am very glad that he captured those, because it's not something we had any content on at all. And yeah, saw some pretty distinct games that I also have in my collection. I did see Aggieopoly. I also have Aggieopoly in the game room. And Settlers of Catan. Can't go wrong with Settlers. Like some sheep for some wheat, some ore. That's happening. Must happen. All right. All right. So yeah, the front bedroom of that house is like, this isn't like a fisheye lens, folks. It's massive.
It's that big.
That room is big. We have like a whole gaming area versus a double bed area. Like it's a huge room that can, he can do laps on his little tricycle thing around there, no problem.
Yes, Eli is set. He is set.
For sure. Yep. And then the room for guests, and you know, when he's got the sleepovers going down, of course they'll all wind up piling in the same room. That's what they do. But yeah, just a really nice. Like they did great on the colors. It's very clean, very crisp.
They did.
Yeah.
Yes. And then this is the guest bathroom that we didn't see in the video, but just to show you that this is the space that those two bedrooms share.
You have the protective rubber ducky over the, you know, so, I mean, it's standard issue. This is great.
Yes. Awesome. It's a great space.
Yep. Very cool. I think we had another question pop in.
Yes, Joseph has a question.
Here,
he says, "Thank you so much for the info on the electrical power. Design question: Can the Canyon's cathedral ceiling expand from living room to kitchen without the cathedral porch?"
Okay, so it can, but there's a caveat, Joseph. It has to be the C elevation. So, trying to think if I can go to let me go back in the PowerPoint to the hip roof. Let's see.
Okay.
So basically. That's kind of, here, great. So the kitchen actually comes to like over here-ish, which means that I would need a full gable roof side. So this is what's known as a hip roof. So I have a hip on the side, like your hands on your hip. So that's what I have here on the side. I would need this to be a gable. And I mean, it wouldn't have to be on this side, but it would look better if it was on both sides. But so the C elevation of the canyon, if you go look at the website and look at the C versus the A, B, and D, you'll see what I'm talking about, how it's got the gable going all the way in. I would need to have that gable to continue that cathedral ceiling all the way, so I don't run into, otherwise the ceiling ends up protruding past the roof. So yes, it can be done.
Yeah, not a good look.
Not a good look. Also very hot this summertime and very wet in the wintertime. But I need C elevation. But yeah, then you do that. You can go side to side with the cathedral ceiling, and it's a great look as well. And very similar to what we have in the Wimberley model home. You can go look at images of the Wimberley, which is a model home in Bernie, and you can see kind of what I'm talking about. It's got that done that way with some trusses going through there. Very pretty.
Yep. And if you wanted to go with that C elevation, it does come, it is designed with the board and bat, but if you wanted to change the exterior to be masonry or stone or however you want to shake that up, you can. We're going after that roof line, like Eric was talking about.
Sure enough. Great question.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's actually go ahead and take a peek at that outdoor space.
Let's check it out. Y'all keep asking your questions.
Wow, I love it out here, how it's so open.
Zoe Dixie. Yeah, it's the continuation of the cathedral from the inside with the windows just all the way through to looking out at the view.
It's gorgeous. I would spend every single morning, every single evening out here.
I would recommend it, except we're like in 107 degrees right now.
Yeah, that's the downside.
Yeah, but whenever it cools off, this is where we'll be.
Yeah, I love it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love the tones of the wood with the brick.
The black.
Again,
it's
this
got
black.
a mood,
Yes.
a nice mood to it.
It really just makes it cozy.
And I think the stain color you chose is really natural, and it really helps the black even pop more.
Yeah. So we liked the lighter stain. We saw that in the Canyon model in the master bedroom. So that was actually a change that I had made. I had done a darker stain, and then we went back and I said, I really think we need to do the light. So we switched it, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I think it turned out excellent.
Yeah, we wanted to add the brick, again, just that continuation from the front to the middle to the end. So we added the brick to the bottom. It's great.
Yeah, it's kind of your bookends on the front and the back of the house.
Yeah.
And we did skip the study on the front. I do want to check that out before I get out of your hair.
Yeah, sounds good. So this is our study, just right off the entry.
Yeah, I love the glass doors.
Yeah, I love it because it still is open, but it can be closed off. And then, I mean, we don't do a ton of studying anymore, but it's kind of just that morning coffee area. I wanted a couch in here. Again, the sun rises.
Nice
over
little
there.
reading area too.
Yeah, reading, away time.
Yeah.
This is a good space. And we did that, accent wall that's the same color as the outside of the house, actually.
Oh, I love that.
And so just bringing that in, that darkness, it looks different being on the inside. But
and it really makes your pictures pop too, having that dark wall.
I guess that's the point of the accent wall.
I guess. It accents the photos.
It just kind of grounds the room.
It does, yeah. And I love the tones that you've picked throughout the house. I think it all flows really well together.
Thank you.
The decorating is superb. Excellent job.
Thank you. I was a little bit stressed about it, but I think it's turned out pretty good.
Well, thank you for showing me around. We'll go back into the kitchen and I'll get out of your hair.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you so much again for showing me around your house.
Of course. Thank y'all for coming.
Before I get out of your hair,
okay,
I saw a pickleball court when I pulled up.
Yes, that was my husband's must-have. Dual purposes as a parking pad, but primarily he had to have a pickleball court.
Yeah, when that net is up, it is time for some challenges.
Time to play. Yes.
Well, I happen to have some pedals in the trunk of my car, so we might have to do that before I get out of here.
He would love it.
Well, thank all of you as well for joining us for another episode of Tilson Home Tours, and we hope to someday soon make you part of the Tilson family.
All right.
Lot to unpack there. The back porch is killer. Like you can't. And I'll be honest. I would have thought with the dark ceiling like that, it would look small. It does not. So
It does not. Yeah, I think Kelsey actually hit the nail on the head. Like it actually makes it feel cozy instead of feeling like wide open and.
Oh, I love it.
Like too tall. So yeah, I love it. And just look at how much space they have out there.
Yeah, that furniture looks so tiny, and it's not like it's sectional sitting out there, and it looks
I know
small. So I think it's really, really the dogs have it made. They've got it made.
Yes.
But anyway,
Zoe
I
and Dixon
love
went
how that turned out.
Everything.
And I like it because they had so much space and it is so large. Doing the brick base on the columns doesn't take away from it. I'm sometimes hesitant to have customers do that because you're giving up 2 feet of the porch effectively. But my gosh, I mean, if you have it to spare like this, it really makes it look sharp.
Yeah, and it really doesn't. Like she was saying, it calls back to you've got that brick on the front, you have the brick on the fireplace, so it just echoes it there. It's just a great design choice.
Yeah.
They just did so well. They did so well.
Turned out great.
And then this is that foyer. So you can see that leads into the study. And the doors on the left-hand side, that is your coat closet for your guests as they come in.
Yes,
it's just they picked a beautiful front door. We wanted to make sure we showed it.
This is what we refer to as the month of February. It goes in here in Texas. That's all it's for.
Well, hopefully, like raincoats sometime.
I hope so. It will happen again. It will happen again.
Someday. And then there's that study space. So just beautiful. If you are in a work from home situation, it's away and isolated from the rest of the rooms in the house. And love that. Love the accent wall that calls to the color on the exterior. And then Christian is commenting, he saw the same thing I did, the vinyl records that she had hung on the wall. So he spies Rick Springfield and the
I didn't recognize Rick Springfield. That's a good catch there, Christian. Eagles' Greatest Hits is iconic. You can't unsee that. I also tell you that Mr. Eric and Mrs. Eric might have this exact same Benjamin Knox Aggie ring thing going on in our house. Probably different years are filled in on the insides of the Aggie rings, but we definitely have that. Really cool.
Love that.
Nice piece.
It's awesome. Very nice. And then you also have the utility room, lots of space in there. And like I mentioned, they added in those cabinets just to get a little bit of extra storage. And that changed to the powder room where they put in the actual cabinet rather than the pedestal sinks.
Yep. All for it. So with that,
yes,
folks, if you have any questions at all about any part of the process, obviously this house, the only question is, why aren't we building more of these like this? Because it's gorgeous.
I know.
But yeah, we would love to hear from y'all. If you have questions about design, about building on your land, about financing, about site preparation, that's what we're here for. So if you got questions about that, we'll make this kind of a last call for questions. We're right up against the time frame there. But Dawn, you can tell us what's going on this weekend. We got a lot of seminars and stuff going on, I think, right?
Yes, we have 6 in-person seminars happening throughout the state this Saturday. They're all at various times. But if you want to head on over to our website, you can check them out and go ahead and sign up for the one that's closest to you. We've got a couple of construction, and the other 4 are the general built on your lot. So it'll give you a good overview if you're trying to figure out what this whole process is and where you get started. Those are good place.
Very nice. Yep. So again, we don't have any other questions. So what I can tell you is that the journey doesn't have to end here, right? Obviously, we have 12 design centers open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, Sundays, noon to 6, and we are there to answer all of your questions. So also, website, tons and tons and tons of info on the website, pricing on the website, because we're the only ones, we got nothing to hide. Got nothing to hide. We put our pricing up there. Most of our competitors do not. Most of your on your lot builders, they're not putting pricing on the website. Hide it from you. You have to ask them for it. It's very secret. We're not that way. We got nothing to hide. This is ungated. Everything we do is fully transparent because we want to make it a pleasant experience for you. If the American dream is to get to build a home somewhere, like buy a home, you get to build one exactly where you want to be. Like that's a one of a kind experience, and we don't want to take anything away from that. Like we know what a big deal that is, and so we want you to get to enjoy that as much as possible, not be unsure of that stuff. So that's why we're here. That's why we do this show. That's why Dawn does all this work, all these presentations. This is going to blow your mind. I don't make these. I don't do this. Dawn and her team do all of this. And so it's a lot of work, and it's so y'all will have all of this good information. Other places, Instagram page, Facebook page, right? You can engage with us there. YouTube channel. There is so much content on that YouTube channel. You can almost build the house yourself. I'm just kidding. You could never do that. But there's a lot. Everything else you do on YouTube, you do it yourself, right? But you would get part of the way through the process, like me trying to pull an engine out of a car and redo it. Like then you'd be mad and have a non-running car or an unbuilt house. Nobody wants that. So anyway, a lot of information there, though, that will help alleviate some of those concerns, answer some of those questions. It's very well organized.
Lists. Breaking news. Carolina says it is raining in San Marcos. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that is...
I'm out of here. I'm going to San Marcos.
That's awesome.
I'll be there in 2 hours. Oh, man. Roll around in the grass like my golden retriever does. So obviously, guys, ask us all the questions there. You can reach out to the website. We got new home specialists sitting on standby to answer those high-level questions, set appointments for you. We want to make this happen for you. And so engage with us there. Check out the website, check out design centers. And until then, we really soon to hope make you part of the Tilson family. We'll see y'all next time.
All right, bye, everybody.